It's not easy, but it's not that hard. It's not easy, but it's not that hard.
Hello, chat. Don't forget to rate your own level. I probably won't, but we'll see. Oh, hold up. I gotta put this up. This song is a banger. So we gotta listen to it. How many mythics we already have? We have 10 of them. However, before we start, there's 2 levels that came out. In the legendary category that we're gonna rate. And for some reason, Waterfall, isn't where I rated it. I already rated Citadel on another stream a couple days ago, but yeah. Banger song. Okay, so a couple things. I don't remember where Waterfall was placed, so can y'all tell me where I placed that shit? Because I think I placed it around mid. Let me see. Waterfall, waterfall, waterfall. Okay, they changed the thumbnail, I see. I placed Waterfall here before. That makes sense, that makes sense. And then Citadel, I think Citadel I placed it behind on display, which makes sense in my head. Hello, Starlara. How goes, how goes? I think this is about where I placed everything. Let's see. The Apollo Prelude at the peak. Then we have Icy Starker, Space Rock, Get Happier, City Fate, Comatose, Exotic Soul, Strange Relationship / yeah, all of these make sense. While thinking about it, let me turn down the music a tiny little bit. While thinking about it, I have cooked some stuff up. I have changed opinions a little bit during the process of some of these levels because I've actually gone and played them. So, Tornado, I'm actually gonna move below Cog. First thing first. Summer Gallery and Stratus are changing places. I am moving Ever After up here. And actually played Zone Pirate V and I like it more than Armor Core. Now, for these 3 that I didn't place before. Bussin', after a lot of consideration, I've decided to place it here. Why? Because, well, thinking about it, I actually don't like Bussin' as a level, I just think it's funny. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good level, so I could put it in good level, and I don't like it, but I don't love it. It's not like that I don't love it either. So I just feel very mixed on it, and that's why it goes in here. It's just funny, and that's it. It is sometimes enough, but I'm trying to be objective, which is why this one is at the top. Hello, Six, and hello, Floyd. How's everybody doing? 3 Depth and O2 will remain in the not ranked categories because these are different. These are very unique on their own. And so I don't feel like I'm in a good position to rank them. But if I would, I think both of them would probably go in pretty decent. But that's just, you know. Okay, so two new levels. We had Citadel that came out. I reviewed it a couple days ago. I don't like Citadel's gameplay for the last half of the level, and I don't think the visuals are great, so that is why I put it here. But now the Retro Tower is the last one that is left, so let me put the music all the way down. And we have the Retro Tower, new legendary that came out. So let's review this one real quick before we get into the mythics. Not seen this one yet. So Well, no, that's not true. I saw that 60 Lord uploaded the video, and I clicked on it, and then I clicked off because I was like, I'll just react to it originally here. I like the little interface. I like that you can click the little button. The actual level itself right now just looks like a very generic, I guess. Maybe generic is not the way to go, but it looks like Dash. So it looks like a wrapped up level with a little bit more extra deco. But okay. This part looks annoying to play because it's Swing Copter. Gameplay looks a bit hard to read. Oh, don't tell me it's gonna go vertical. It does go vertical, okay. Gameplay loses a bit of points because of that. Vertical gameplay sucks, and it's never well integrated. Visuals are okay. A bit all over the place and messy. I like the beginning more, but... a cute level in. That's cute. That's very cute. Yeah, the end seems very, very messy, but everything else is pretty decent. Temp for Plan Z. My goodness. Okay. Out of everything that I've seen, this actually does seem like a good level. Gameplay seems like it takes a toll towards the end. I think my biggest complaint is that, for the most part, this looks pretty generic. Am I crazy for saying this? It feels very generic. It just, like, the beginning part just feels like Dash and using pixel blocks. It just looks like a normal rated level. And then the ending, the quality of the art, and the effects is just, again, kind of epic-worthy. It's like... It's just very... I don't know, I feel like I've seen this a lot. I think that the one thing that makes this cool is just the very last cutscene, like the whole, oh my god, it's, you know, Plan Z, whatever. I think that is, like, adds a little bit of extra points, but... it's somewhere in pretty decent. I think it's a pretty decent level. That's the bare minimum. But, like, do I like it more than COG? No. I'd probably like it more than Tornado. Yeah, I think here pretty decent is a good place. Yeah, it seems to make sense. Okay, one last thing, chat, before we actually get into the mythics. I'm gonna keep the rankings of the legendaries here. Why? Because I want to add the mythics to this tier list, and I'm gonna... Now, here's what I'm going to ask you. Would you rather I compare mythics and legendaries together? Or would I rather I just put mythics on their own? And I'm going to actually run a poll in chat, and y'all can vote. What would you rather? So you can vote in the chat. There is a poll that just started. Would you rather that I rate them all together? So I put all levels on the same page and I compare them all together. Or would you rather I only rank the mythics by themselves and put them related to each other? Okay, seems like it's overwhelming all together. Because that's the thing. Because like Longnub said, I feel like by putting them all together, we can actually see which legendaries that probably deserve the mythic, and which mythics probably deserve the legendary. And I feel like this will give a better comparison. Again, this is all my opinion. Now, for the legendaries, we had Wick around, and she was absolutely amazing and helped us with some of these. Because I didn't have much of an opinion on some of them, so having a second opinion was useful. But for the Mythics, I have opinions. I have a lot of opinions. And so, because of that, we are definitely gonna take everything into consideration. And if the majority of you, wow, it's an overwhelming majority. Okay, if the majority of you just want me to do all together, then I'm gonna run with that. Now, however, I will say, even though Erok here is at peak, because I genuinely believe that is a really, really, really good level, just because it is above other mythics doesn't necessarily mean that I think it's mythic. And that is the only difference that I want you to make. Same with Caraspace, same with any of the levels that will be higher than others. It's because it's higher doesn't mean it necessarily needs a higher rating. And I think that is something that I need to point out. Now, to get things started, into another 16 Lord level, we will be checking out the Towerverse. I'll check Nexus upload because I feel like it's the most fair. Okay, seems like everybody has voted. We are ending the poll. We are running them all together. Are we ready, chat? Let's go. Now, I will say I have played most of the mythic levels already. Wait, let me check. Can you guys hear this correctly? Just making sure. Let me check. Can you guys hear this correctly? Seems like everybody has voted. Here, apologies, chat. You'll be hearing me double. Are we ready, chat? Yes, you can hear everything. Okay, great. So, for some of these platformers, I think I might be going at a little bit more speed. Just to make it not as long to watch the whole thing. So we'll watch at 1.5. I think 1.5 is decent enough where we can still enjoy this. So this is the first mythic level that got rated. It is called the Towerverse by 16 Lord. And I feel like everybody had a lot of opinions on this level. It came out, what, like 8 months ago at this point? So, maybe more actually now that I think about it, but let's actually properly have our thoughts here. The thing that I remember the most about this level is that it felt very pointless a lot of the time, gameplay wise, of course. I felt like I wasn't doing anything aside from just going to the right and maybe sometimes going to the left. And then that there was no point to me exploring this. I felt like there was a lot of things to explore, but the only rewards for exploring it was just, hey, here are some coins, and if you get the coins, you get a coin. And it's like, okay. The actual puzzles themselves weren't, yeah, meandering might be a better word. Thank you, Fastlane. I feel like, it just felt like there was not a lot of, there wasn't a destination that I was heading towards, and it wasn't very clear as to what I was supposed to be doing in this place, aside from just exploring and finding those reasons myself. Which is usually something good. I usually enjoy that. I think it's kind of fine. But then it became kind of a chore. That to just go around and explore these things, because I didn't feel like I was being rewarded enough for how much time it actually took to do these things. Like, again, Nexus spends 24 minutes, and I'm pretty sure Nexus doesn't collect every single thing. That's just kind of, you know. Yeah, I think that's the other thing. I think the fact that it was portrayed as an open world level, but it didn't feel open world, it actually felt super linear, was also a bit deceiving to me. It felt like, I don't know, it didn't feel super engaging. But as a first, like, big platformer and, like, the you know, the main thing that you want to showcase, I think Wrapped did a good job at, like, choosing a platformer that seemed very accessible to people, that was relatively, you know, inoffensive, and that just didn't, like, complicate things too much. Now, I know that a lot of people will complain because the visuals are just using pixel blocks a lot, and they don't seem very imaginative or, like, original. It doesn't look the best, and that is very valid. But I think that I understand that, like, it's just very polished for the time that it released, and I can see the appeal. I can see why people would like this level. Oh, don't think you've won just yet. I do think that the little additions of lore and cutscenes are pretty well done and well integrating. Those are so fucking silly. I don't play with sound effects, so for me, whenever I played this, I didn't hear those sound effects. Those are some very, very silly sound effects. At least it doesn't steal assets. Hey, that's the greatest thing. It just uses default assets. So I'm very, very happy at the very least that, you know, it's not stealing shit. Which is more than I can say about other levels that we'll see later on. I will say I am kind of happy that, like, it is very... oh my god, that is so fucking funny. It is very dynamic. There's a lot of things happening still on screen, even though there's not much to do. There's still things happening to keep you entertained. You know? You like the English-Spanish setting too? That is true. I think accessibility is something that makes this actually pretty nice. Mostly knowing that, like, you know, we have a really, really big Spanish community in this game, so the fact that it has that accessibility is good. It's really nice. Now. Okay, you didn't have to actually sit through here and listen to the all 100. My god, that was annoying. Multiple platforming layers on the screen that could transition between with a specific object. Oh, interesting. Kind of like a depth perception. Kind of like a depth zoom in. Yeah. I think that's a really cool idea. Yes, I think so too, Loco. But just the fact that it, like, thought about it, instead of it being fully in Spanish or fully in English, like, the fact that it has both, I think it's a nice, neat little thing. And I think, like, if we do have bigger projects, like, having them being translated into other languages is pretty nice, you know? Mostly if they are very, like, story-based and, you know, require a lot of stuff. You can practice certain sections from the beginning. Oh, interesting. It's nice. I didn't know that was an option. You have to go left when you start. I see. Translation teams for levels? Yeah, we should for sure have a couple of those. It's gonna be a dedicated translator team. It even got in the GD Awards? That is crazy, guys. I think it's very cute that the Towerverse, you know, tower, it translates to Torres in Spanish. I think it's cute. Cute little thing. Very, very funny. Translation to Geode. That could be interesting. If, like, there's a mod that directly translates certain things. That's good. Hi, hello, Rich Connor. Yes, I think that is your thumbnail, your tier list. Thank you for making it. That's actually been very useful. I used it for the legendaries too. Big shoutouts. Thank you for doing so much of the work than I didn't feel like doing. I also like these little sections where you go inside of the little caves and explore further in. I thought that was a very neat thing. I just wish that there was more to it, and like, you know, I wish there was more to do. And I think that's maybe the biggest complaint that I have with this level, is that I wish there was more to do. Get the emerald back. I do like the little side quests. I also wish that there were more of them. That was like the one thing that I actually enjoyed, was going around and doing little side quests. And I feel like we've gotten a lot better at it now with some of the new platformers that have come out. But, you know, it is a very cute level. I genuinely do think that this is a very, very cute level. I think what it tries to do, it does well. And I think that a lot of the hate that it got definitely was because people were expecting Mythic to be different. And now we're going into the cave. Now, when I played this level originally, this is where I stopped playing the level after this cave section. Why? And I'll explain after. But I played through this cave, and that is pretty much the last thing that I remember doing. I remember this cave section I struggled with a lot. Mostly because I like falling down. I wish there was a functionality in GD to like look up or like look down, because I think I would genuinely enjoy that a lot. I think looking down would have helped a lot this level. Very funky song. As per usual, we gotta have escape sequence because that is the only gameplay that exists in Geometry Dash. You cannot make interesting gameplay, you have to make an escape sequence. I genuinely think so. I think that the hate that this level got was a bit much. I genuinely think that out of everything, I don't think this is a bad level at all, and I think a lot of people definitely let the Mythic rating get to their heads and be like, oh, it has to be the best thing ever. So, we're actually getting to the propeller perk. This is where I stopped playing the level, because I genuinely did not like the propeller mechanic. I thought the propeller mechanic was pretty badly done in terms of gameplay, and it didn't feel... It felt weird to play, and having to restart this part so many times was very off-putting. Now, whether or not I would enjoy it now may be different, but back then, when this came out and I played it, I did not enjoy the propeller mechanic. It is really, really unnecessarily hard for everything else in the level, or unnecessarily complex, and it made me not want to keep playing the level. And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing about this level. However, it's the only bad thing, really, that I can say. Aside from the graphics just looking very low effort, but, you know, again. No. Oh, there's a checkpoint. I didn't even know that. See, I didn't even get that far. I also feel like this part drags on for a little bit long. It's supposed to be like this big, momentous bit, but it definitely feels like too much. This part got nerfed so much after release? Oh, that's good. Because, yeah, I remember when this released, this part was miserable to play. Nice. There you go. What the heck was that? So, and here goes my second complaint, because I did watch a video of this at some point. I do not like the ending. And I'm gonna say this is gonna be a theme for a lot of platformers. I do not like the ending of a lot of platformers. So... a lot of platformers just kind of end. Like, they just kind of stop existing. You know, like, I feel like this should be like the climax and not the propeller part. Like, this feels a lot more ominous. This feels like there should be a boss fight here. You know? There's shit happening and getting, like, sucked out into the moon or whatever. Like, this feels really, really cool as a concept. Like, it's building up to something. And then it kind of just doesn't. It kind of just ends, and it feels very weird, very random. I don't know. Maybe there's, again, maybe there's gonna be a sequel, maybe there already is a sequel and I just haven't seen it. I just didn't really vibe with this one too much. It just kind of ends, leaves it like, you know, kind of there. Yeah, it's more so disappointing, because it was really building up to like a Taurus boss fight or something, and there just isn't anything about this. So there's 6 levels in the Towerverse series, and there's more coming. Jesus Christ. Okay, so like I guess I'm missing out on a lot of lore. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, we rated it. Like I definitely think that is not super related, but we just rated it into the legendary tier list. It's just, I don't know, I really wish there was more, you know. At the very least, for a mythic level, I expected more. I also just didn't bother reading through all of the lore, so you know, keeping up with what is actually happening is a bit confusing at times. And there you go. The Towerverse. Created by 16 Lord. Yeah, it's a level. It's a level that is pretty decent. I think out of anything, it did a good job at what it wanted to do. It did pretty decent at like fleshing out a little world, and it made it a little, like, it made it interesting. So I think the extent of where this level can go is definitely not as high as others. Let's explore it for a while. Oh. No, evil. Anyway. So the Towerverse. The very, very first Mythic. And the first platformer Mythic. Now, I think this got a lot of hate, but I don't think it goes in mid. I definitely think that this, for what it's trying to do and for the time that it came out, definitely at the very least deserves the pretty decent. Now, are the visuals mediocre? Yes. Is the gameplay mediocre? Yes. Is everything about this level mediocre? Yes. But for a very, very first platformer, I can commend that. I can say that, it did something different, I feel. And it did more. So, does it go in pretty decent? Or does it go in mid? I'll explain it at the beginning of the stream, Loco. For Bussin', it's one of those that it's like, I don't know how to feel about it, so I'm putting it mixed, because I either love it or hate it. So, I think the Towerverse, I can give it top of mid. I think that is the highest that I'm comfortable putting it, because I'm thinking about it and I'm looking at pretty decent, and I feel like all of these levels are better, including the Retro Tower, which is a spin-off sequel to this. What's up with Endeavor out there? Where is Endeavor? Oh, Endeavor? It's not a good level in my opinion. That's it. I talked about it a lot during the last stream. I didn't think that Endeavor is just not very good looking. It has a lot of flaws. Okay, next. For the actual first Mythic level, Astralith by GeoGamer12. Now, some of you will see the channel and be like, wait a second, isn't that you? Yeah, that is me. However, I will try to rate this according to how I actually feel about this level and give a little bit of insight on how I actually made this with the help of a lot of very many wonderful and amazing people. So let's just watch it. Aren't I Arclea? That's true. That is also me. Oh wait, I'm still watching it at 1.5 speed. I was like, I feel like the song's not like this. Let me rewatch this. Apologies, chat. So, what can I say about Astralith? I think as a sequel to Post Blue Ain, I think we did a very, very good job at capturing the themes of this level and pushing that fantasy slash medieval-esque theming that we had going on with Post Blue Ain, and we pushed it a lot more. So generally, I think for a sequel to Post Blue Ain, we did a very good job. That is how we, figured this out. As a sequel to Post Blue Ain, I generally think this was pretty good. So, a context behind this level. We started off making levels as a series, quote-unquote. Not really. Let me turn down music a tiny little bit. How this started is that we made a level called 24, and the goal of that level was making the level in 24 hours. After that, we wanted to make another level like that, because we just loved the idea of making levels in a very short amount of time. And so we made Post Blue Ain. Now, Post Blue Ain was done in 5 days, if I remember correctly. So a little bit more than 24 hours, but the idea was still there, make it in 1 day or two, and then we dragged it out a little bit to polish it off. Post Blue Ain did end up winning the GD Awards last year, which I thought was really, really cool. We were all very happy about this. And then time passed, and then we were like, okay, we have not made a level in a while. Let's all just make a level for fun, like Post Blue Ain and 24. Level in a very short amount of time, but this time, let's give it a week. Instead of doing it in a day or two, let's just give ourselves a week, because that's how Post Blue Ain took. And so, we're just having a week off. And so, yeah, we decided to make a level, and we started off by making this in a week. Now, the issue with Astralith is that it wasn't actually made in a week, it was made in 3 weeks. It took a lot longer than we originally thought, but the level was entirely made in less than a month. From start to finish. I have a lot of opinions of this level. Now, this was my very, very first time hosting, quote-unquote, entirely by myself one of these. So, I've hosted levels before, of course, but this was the first time that, it was mostly just me taking over charge of a project that was really, really big in such a short amount of time. So I had to really crunch in a lot of the creators and really crunch myself too, because as you know, some of you might know, this entire last segment from 155 to 215, so this entire 20-second segment is my part with the help of the advice, of course. So this whole thing was my part. Now, on top of not co-hosting, just straight up hosting, because I was co-hosting at first, but then I just took over. On top of hosting the whole project and helping on a lot of parts, I also had to make this entire part as well as this entire end animation with the help of the advice. And so my experience with this level is very, very mixed. 2 things that I want to bring up. The first being, a lot of people have complained about the gameplay of this level. I will agree that the gameplay on this level is not the best. I think that the gameplay could have definitely been improved upon a lot. And that was mostly because everybody made their gameplay differently. We kind of just meshed it all together in the end. We didn't really think about transitions gameplay-wise and stuff like that. And a lot of the visuals didn't actually give a lot of room for making more. They just definitely could have made a better job at telling the player what is an obstacle and what isn't. And I feel like a lot of people complained because there were no indicators. So, small thing, the no indicators part was entirely on purpose. I absolutely hate the fact that GD players are needing indicators in order to tell what levels are, because I feel like that is a really, really bad habit. And I understand that with a level like this, it could have used it. But I don't give a shit. You can just play it in practice mode and learn the level. This level is not that hard. It's maybe like a 9 stars with an added difficulty of being really, really long. Now this part, Subpixels part, I will agree. This is definitely the hardest part of the level. The rest of the level, no. You can just absolutely learn it. There is no need for indicators. If you need indicators, you need to start playing levels more. And entirely viable if you genuinely just want to beat a level and don't care for learning it. But I do, and that is something that is really important to me. Lori told me that his and Maddie's part took like 700 hours. That is vastly exaggerated. It maybe took 100. 700 is definitely too much of an exaggeration. The whole project as a whole maybe took 700 hours with everybody's part combined. I think their part may be 150 if a good day. So a lot of things about this level that I should talk about. We had a lot of bugs come up with this level. I feel like I've never talked about Astralith, so this is my first time that I actually get to talk about Astralith. We had a lot of bugs. Actually, there was... Oh, wait, hold up, chat. There's a couple of things that I needed to talk about. But anyway, we had a lot of bugs with this level. And so finding out how to fix those bugs actually took a lot of time. The actual creation process of this level took about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. So about 2 weeks into the process of this level, all the parts were completely done, more or less. However, the train was not really merged. The train by itself existed as the train, and then the background was in another copy, and then the effects and then the composition was in another copy, the gameplay mostly. And so merging all of that took a solid week on top of optimizing that, because originally the game ran at 2 FPS for me, and I have a really, really good PC. So if that was an issue, to make it playable for somebody on a phone was just impossible. And I know that a lot of people still like an Astralith, and I'm really sorry. I'll talk about that more in a second. But focusing on making the gameplay of the train just bearable, we had to sacrifice a lot of the gameplay for that train. So the gameplay of the train is like nothing. There's like 3 jumps maybe. And actually, yeah, there's 5 jumps. Which, like, makes it so the part isn't as hype gameplay-wise, but it was a compromise we had to go with, because it just wasn't working. And this entire part was made by Maddie, this cutscene. Originally, this was a ship gameplay, but since we thought it was too hard for the player to read, we actually decided to scrap that entire gameplay part and just make it auto. So this whole part originally had gameplay, but we just scrapped all of that and made it auto. Same with some of the gameplay here and the last part. I worked really, really hard to make sure that, like, you could tell what were obstacles and what weren't. Like, working on my composition, working on the colors, sacrificing some stuff with DOIs, like making the plants red to show you that those kill you. It's a lot of couple things that, like, you know, was hard to make. Yes, the song gets off sync a little bit because Maddie goes vertical gameplay and shenanigans happen. How did the gameplay look before? For this part, it was just visually it looked the same. It's just that you could actually click starting from here, and then you had to keep the ship in the middle because the black parts at the top and the bottom would kill you. And I genuinely did not think that was something that was very good looking. So yeah. They have old photos, videos, etc. We do, but for the privacy of the creators, because they have not given me straight authorization on doing it, I won't show anything. I'll talk about it more, maybe on a more dedicated stream on how I made Astralith and how I made MCS. But yeah, generally I think Astralith, we did a pretty solid job at doing what we wanted to do in the span of 3 weeks, maybe a little bit more than 3 weeks. I definitely think that the level is rushed in certain parts. Because we had some people dropping off, some people that couldn't finish parts in time, stuff like that happened, you know. It is very hard for us to actually get things moving in such a short time span. But since I think as a sequel to Postplane it did a good job, I definitely think that it is a very, very good level. Now, where do I actually place Astralith here? Oh, yeah, no, sorry. 2 things that oh my god, chat. I keep thinking about other things I need to talk about. First thing I need to talk about. The reception after it got rated. Once this level got Mythic, I was very disappointed. I generally think that when Astralith came out, I was very, very happy with the actual result of the level, and I didn't really care at all about the rating. I've been very vocal to anybody that has been a you know, a regular chatter on my stream that I don't care about the ratings. I definitely just could not give a single shit about any of the ratings. But when it got Mythic, it got a lot of attention. And since it was the first classic Mythic, and the first Mythic that quote-unquote people actually thought deserved Mythic, I'm absolutely butchering here how a lot of people felt, I did not actually like the reception. I think that the reception that this level got was very overblown in every sense of the way. I think that the love that it got was nice, but it got to the point that the love started to become hate towards other levels, and I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that a lot of people started hating on other levels because they liked Astralith so much. That is something that I will never be okay with. Never throw hate at other levels because you like something else more. That's not something that's okay. But secondly, the hate that this level got because it wasn't absolutely perfect was also undeserving. This level's just okay. Like, if you don't like it, that's entirely you. If you don't like the gameplay, that's entirely fair. If you don't want to know about these things and you don't care to know about these things, that's also valid. You're super valid for not liking this level. Hating on the creators and straight up, like, hating on a lot of the people who do like this just because they like it isn't okay either. Like, that's just straight up, it's lame as fuck. It's just lame as fuck. It's just rude and disrespectful, and it just doesn't make me want to keep doing these things. Like, these projects are entirely made out of love, and if passion projects like these can create such controversies and such much hate in the community, then it just sucks. It just sucks because you're trying to make something that's cool, something that you like, and then people just have opinions that end up clashing and making the community a worse place to be in. Don't fucking be like that. Just don't be like that. It's straight up. And if you are, great. Like, good for you. But it's not something that is fun to have in the community. Aside from that, yeah. Did Astralith deserve Mythic? I personally don't think so because of my own standards, but do I think it deserved Mythic comparatively to the rest of the levels that have been rated at the time? Yes. I think that at the time that it came out, Astralith is a very good level. I think that Astralith deserved the Mythic. Not because I think it deserves a Mythic, but because of everything else that had been rated. I think the art quality is good. I definitely think that the gameplay had some issues. Where would I place it? In my opinion, I would place it here. Personally speaking, I think that it's a good level. I think that it is a very, very solid level for what it was trying to do, but it has a lot of issues that I can talk about more at a different time, and that I think could have been improved upon if we have just spent more time. When we were making Astralith, we had a discussion between the people who were organizing the level. Should we release the level now, as it is? Or should we keep working on it and improving it until it's like literally perfect? We could have gone with that second option. We could have actually decided to take our time and spend more than 3 weeks on the level and improving the level. But we decided not to. Because we knew that if we just kept working on it endlessly, we could not have actually released the level. And the level was done. It just needed to be out. It just needed to be out of our minds so we could focus on something else. It's a decent level. It does what it's trying to do. Do I like it more than a lot of these other levels? Maybe not. But if I need to put my objective point of view, I think here's a good place to put it. Next, Quarion. I also have a lot to say about this level. And I will let it play for a little bit before I talk too much. Because we have 18 minutes here, so I have to pad out this. But I want to say that to anybody who knows me, you know that I love this level. You know that I think this is good. So, welcome to Quarion. This is a level in Geometry Dash. For some of you who have never seen or heard of this level before, this is an entire Metroidvania game made inside of GD. Now, this level released like a week after Astralith, so this was already a couple months into the update. So a couple of things I want to point out before too much. One is that it does use pixel blocks, as you can clearly see, but it uses custom pixel blocks for the most part. It has a lot of custom assets that are completely fresh and designed with animated sprites for the characters and animated boss fights. Everything completely being original art. I very, very much respect that. I think that the amount of effort put into this, into the visuals of this level, definitely deserve the praise. This is a very, 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 very pretty level. Now, could the art have been better? Absolutely. But I think that for what it's trying to do, it does an insanely amazing job. It feels super nostalgic with the very low detailed pixel art. And how cute every animation is and how purposeful it is. Even the little spikes like flipping up, down, just that is just perfect, you know. Would I buy this game? Absolutely. I would spend, no matter how much you price it, I would absolutely spend the money on this game. This is a game that I genuinely had a lot of fun playing. I played through the whole thing. I got all 3 coins. Actually, no, I got 2 coins. I lied. I didn't get the last coin because I fucked up. I genuinely think this is incredibly fun. The gameplay is super intuitive. It is super fun. The mechanics are super tight. Like, it's great. It is absolutely great how fun it is to play. This is so, so, so good. This is completely original, completely amazingly done. The actual traversal and the map mechanics are super great. The power-ups that you get are amazing. They're actually very intuitive to play, and they feel super fun to play. I never once had a moment where I'm like, oh yeah, no, this just doesn't feel intuitive, contrarily to a lot of other things. And we have a lot of, you know... Yes, I love the little fisheye. It's very, very tiny, but it's enough to, like, you know, make a big difference to, like, how immersive it makes you feel. This level is Quarion by Sojourned. Now, I do have to say, Sojourned made one of my favorite platformers, which is Flip Swap Factory, which is a really, really, really fun platformer. One of the first ones that I played when the update came out, and I genuinely loved it. It had insanely good gameplay. Very much I respect Sojourned as a game designer, because they have a very, very, very good approach to actual designing levels and designing puzzles. And designing bosses maybe a little bit less, but, you know, they're getting there. I will say that my biggest complaint about this level is the boss fights. I think that the boss fights have a lot of issues. They have very repetitive patterns, and boss fights, maybe it's just when I played it because I played it on release, but I had boss fights that were literally just stuck on a loop where you could not damage them. I had an attack pattern that played like back to back 8 times. And I have Loco and Zendergame who were watching me play this for the first time. They watched me play through the whole thing. They can vouch for me that I would get a lot of very repetitive patterns over and over again with no chance for me to actually attack the boss for like a solid 5 to 10 minutes sometimes. It was really, really bad. And that is by far the only complaint that I have with this level. Genuinely, I think that the boss fights could have had a way, way better job done to them. But I am okay with what it is right now. I can accept it as, you know, just... It was botched, but, you know, eh. I'll let it pass. I'm sure that it'll be okay. I will say that the map design is probably my favorite part out of this. I think that the map design is really, really enjoyable. The traversal is really fun. This boss is actually kind of fun. Because it added the element of the spikes, which I think was really nice. Made things a little bit different from the other 2 bosses, which felt very, very similar. But, oh yeah, it also has a double slam. Have we reviewed Towerverse? Yes, it was the first one that we reviewed. It was... I've already placed it. Yeah, I generally just feel like this level was just good. For the amount of time that it took to make, for the amount of effort that it took as well. I generally just think that this is, still today, the best platformer we've gotten. genuinely the most impressively well done platformer. There's like almost no flaws to the design of this level. It is so good. The mechanics are so good. The sound effects are used accordingly. It never feels annoying to play. It is just good. I could not sing the praises of this level enough. It is just a very fun and enjoyable level. Always has been, always will be. I have worked as a game designer for very many years, and I gotta say that this is just so much fun. It's so fucking good. It is outstanding how fun this level is. And not just as a level, as a game, okay? That's the part that I need y'all to understand, that I would buy this game. I would spend money to play this. That is the most important thing. I genuinely think that this is absolutely worth it. I really hope Sujoin makes more levels, or more games, I should say. I think it's really, really cool, and I'm very much looking forward to whatever they make next. I also have an opinion that I will state at the very end of this video, because I think that is an opinion that a lot of people will disagree with. And I think that's an opinion that I myself would disagree with if it wasn't for the fact that it's been a year now, and I still have that opinion. If like so much time hadn't passed, I think I would think differently. But I think with how much time it's passed, I can confidently say that I'm still standing strong on this opinion. How much time is left? Let's go a little bit faster. You mainly play platformer challenges over rated long platformers, so a lot of these I haven't seen, and Astralith is the only classic Mythic I've played, so I don't really know any of these. That's fair, and that's why we're rating all of them here and ranking all of them, and I'm very much giving my opinions, so that, you know, everybody who hasn't actually seen these levels can see them, first of all, and also can have an opinion out of them. I know it's definitely not easy to always have an opinion and always think that your opinion is, you know, valid when a lot of people disagree with it, and that's totally fair. But I definitely think that a lot of the community feels like an echo chamber at times, where it's just, you know, I think a lot of effort could be done to have different, like, valid different opinions, and I feel like a lot of people are very much underestimating, like, you know, a lot of people get flamed for, like, thinking that, oh my god, this level didn't deserve Mythic, or oh my god, this level deserved Mythic, and so it's one of those things that it's like, yeah, valid, but also, you know, who cares? It's just your opinion. Also, I really like this little bag right there. I would have never found that bag if it wasn't, like, me loving this game and genuinely exploring it so much. So here's the part that I fucked up. And here you have to go and buy the coins. I did not buy the last coin piece, because I had forgotten a single bag. I won't tell you which bag it is, because it is very embarrassing, but I had forgotten a single bag, and because of that, I did not get the last coin piece, so I got 2 coins out of the 3. There we go, and now we're going back to the first boss. Now, or the first boss, I should say the last boss. The first boss in terms of where it's placed. This boss is actually really fun. I do think that the attack in phase 2 where it just smashes the whole ground is a bit of a weird one, because it doesn't give you much time to, like, think about it, but it's not bad. It's good enough. It's pretty decent. I feel like it could have been telegraphed a tiny bit better than that changed. Because I feel like sometimes, like, that little faint glow on the ground, you might not even notice it, that it's just covering a specific area and not the whole ground. It is, like, when you know it, it is really well telegraphed, but it feels like, oh, shit. Like, the first time it happens, I'm like, oh, shit, you know? It just happens. And there you go. That is the final boss. What an amazing level. What an incredible level. I definitely think that out of anything, this level, and I'll say it right now, it is the only level in this entire game that, in my opinion, since Mythic has been established, deserves a rating. If I had to give Mythic to a level in 2.2, it would be this one. It genuinely would just be this one. I don't think there's a single other level right now that deserves the Mythic. This is good. This is just a good level. It just does everything it needs to do. It does it perfectly. It has insane visuals. It has really good usage of the pixel art. It has very, very atmospheric and pretty sound design. It does everything it needs to do perfectly. I have no complaints over it. This level is peak. It is a good game. It is a good level. It is peak. That's it. I'm putting it below Icy Stars, but it's peak. It is by far the best platformer that has come out. No questions asked. Not even close. And if you disagree, you're totally valid for that, but no. It's peak. It's peak. It's peak. It's peak. What can I say? It's peak. Okay, next we have Pixel Path 2. Another Mythic. 10 minutes long. Great. Then let's watch this. Oh, I definitely agree. The Topala Prelude is such a funny level that I genuinely think that I have never had more fun this year watching a level than that. So this is Pixel Path 2. What are my opinions on Pixel Path 2? Well, I genuinely think that this level does not look very good. And that is a very harsh opinion to have. And if you've seen my tier list about the legendaries, you'll know why. I do not think that semi-realism, as it's called in GD, is done very well. Using pixel blocks to create like very quote-unquote realistic textures, or like not even pixel blocks, just the GD texture to create realistic textures, almost never looks good. Now in this case, I think it's done a little bit better, because it does maintain that pixel aesthetic the whole time. So it's not as bad as other levels. Like, I think a perfect example is a lot of Galifof's levels. Or Blee style, or Kuluk style, or whatever you want to call it. I don't like those levels. Personally speaking, I don't like the messy art style, because I just don't think it looks very good. I think that textures can be done very well, and you can make texture assets look very well, without it needing to look so messy. And you know what? I don't care. Like, I genuinely think that you can do it. Like, it is a thing that we can do in the community. So, why should I have lower standards because it's GD? No. Sorry. Not taking that one. Now, I will say, I do think that this level has a really cool sequence, which is this one. I think that this sequence is very, very well done. I think that the FNAF camera aesthetic is really cute. However, the biggest complaint that I have for this is the upcoming part. This chase sequence. As per usual, we have to have an escape sequence, and the escape sequence has to be bad, because that is just how every single level is. Every single Mythic platformer that has an escape sequence is bad. Like, how that escape sequence is bad. This plays like shit. I do not like the way that this plays. This is miserable to play. I genuinely think that the fact that I can't see any of the hitboxes, the fact that there's game mechanics added in the middle of an escape sequence, and also the fact that it lasts for 2 seconds. It's just ew. It's just ew. I do not like that. Now we get into the Neo City, and I will say that the level does not pick back up to where it was. I feel like the level peaked in the very first part, and then the more that it goes, the better it gets visually, but the less interesting that it becomes gameplay-wise. It actually stops being interesting to me, mostly in this parachute section. This parachute section feels like it completely drags down the hype of the level. It's like, it's so slow comparatively to everything else that's been going on. It just doesn't feel like it matches up the hype. And, yeah, now we got the Limbo reference, which is very cute. Zender Shrieked. I think this train part is, it exists. It just exists. It's a very cute part, but you know. You know. Could we have gone without it? Maybe. I like this transition. I think that transition's neat. I think that's a very neat thing. And then we get to the ending of the level. Now, this is by far the most atmospheric and the most pretty part of the level. I definitely think the visuals here improved drastically compared to everything else. But I also feel like my complaint about the textures being messy and not, you know, doing a good, like having very different art styles mixed in, that makes it very inconsistent. I still think that is a very, very valid approach. There you go. I got the 3 coins. And the animation. Cool animation. I think that the end credits are kind of funny. Pixel Path 2. Thank you, Nexus, for the creator level. So, here are my thoughts on this level. I think this level is not actually better than the Towerverse. And let me speak on why. I actually like the Towerverse more. I think the Towerverse, with all of its flaws, all of its mediocrity, as some people call it, does a better job at making a more fun and concise experience than Pixel Path 2. I think the gameplay in Pixel Path 2 is way worse. I think the visuals in Pixel Path 2, while more ambitious, end up looking messier and less polished, which makes it look worse in my opinion. I think that the pacing of it is definitely not there. And I also just don't really fuck with the pointlessness of it. Like, I complained about the Towerverse being meandering and not having too much to do. This feels even worse. This is just a straight line through like a couple puzzles, and then that's it. It is just that. You have like 4 puzzles, and then the rest is just very short traversal with some gimmicks, and then that's it. And then that's it. Like, I would even put this like here. Genuinely, I don't think Pixel Path is all that. I'm sorry, Pixel Path 2 just definitely did not strike it with me. Actually, you know what? I'll put it here. I think Ever After was better. Even though Ever After has even more of that meandering, I think it slightly did it better. Next. Yet another pixel level. Throat of the World GD. Who's my favorite creator? If I had to say who my favorite creator was, it would probably maybe Mel's, who is in Icy Stars. Or either that or Nazgub. I really, really like Nazgub as a creator. I know he hasn't made anything in 2.2 really, but Nazgub is really, really talented. Really good artist too. I think Mel's Nazgub are some of my favorite ones. I think there's a couple of creators that have been coming out recently that I think have a lot of potential to be very good. I think Quarion as a creator has been improving a lot massively, like genuinely. I just wish she was a bit more consistent with the ideas and that she released more things. Because Exotic Zol is really good, but some of the other MC parts definitely feel a little bit more rushed and a little bit more less high effort. So I really want to see Quarion experimenting some more, and I feel like she has the potential to be very good. Knots is amazing, as per usual. Always has been, always will be. Same with audiovisual. I think audiovisual this year has definitely been the highlight for the community. I don't think we've had a creator that has come out and released so many bangers back to back to back so consistently, with such high quality, with such a unique style. Obviously taking inspiration from JF, but just going out there and just doing so many different things. Genuinely, massive props to him. We have a new creator with the creator of these 2 levels. I forget their name. They have a really funny name. Wubber something? God damn it. If somebody in chat remembers who made these levels. Glub Flubbers. Yes. Glub Flubbers. Good creator. I feel like they have a lot of potential. They just need to keep refining their style and keep going at it. It definitely feels like they have seen Astralith and got inspired from it to make these. You can see a little bit of the resemblance in the art styles, but I definitely want them to keep going at what they're doing. They're doing a very good job. yeah, those are some of the creators that I think have been shining through this year, and that I'm looking forward to see what they make. Okay, next. Growth of the World. Now, first complaint. I feel like out of all the mythics, this is the worst looking one. I think that genuinely, out of all of the mythic levels, this is the one that looks the worst. However, it also has the cool boss fights, so I don't care. This has really, really fucking amazing boss fights. I do not care what anybody says. Those boss fights are amazing to play, and they are amazing to look at. The dragon is a bit of a letdown. I feel like the dragon should have had more, but the first boss fight goes crazy. I definitely just think that out of anything, this is the one that looks the worst, but I'm not gonna fault it too much because I do actually care about gameplay. Contrarily to what a lot of people think about NCS and Astralith, I genuinely do care about gameplay a lot. I think that of anything, this is very linear. It doesn't have much of that free roam exploration, and it shows. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but it is definitely a thing to take into account. It is very different from everything else because this is just like, hey, you have like a mission, you have to go here, and then once you get here, you fight a boss. I'll skip forward a little bit because not much happens until you get to, I'd say here. I feel like here's where the actual level starts. Everything before this just kind of doesn't do much. You stole the fish. How dare you? Yeah, out of the platformers that we've seen, I think this one is the most fun to play. Not the actual, like, parkour of it, but the boss fights. The boss fights really make this level shine. Because the actual, like, traversal is kind of just okay. I actually think the traversal of both Pixel Path and the Towerverse is better. But the boss fights. The boss fights are really well designed. Like, if we could get a level with Quarion's level design, and then the design of the boss fights that this has, it would be so cool. Feels like that's Dark Souls 3 gameplay. In a way, I can see the resemblance, yes. I see the little bonfires. Oh, yes. Use as sacrifice. Can't believe it. We've cooked them up. They're cooked. Okay, let's go forward a little bit to the first boss. Because it's the... Actually, we're getting to it. I can wait. Oh, little escape sequence. Not really, but... yeah. Very, very... I like this mechanic with the fungal, like, toxic waste that, like, you know, you have to get to safety. I think it's very neat. I just wish it was a bit more lenient, but I mean, it is an extreme demon, so I guess. And boss fight time. Ooh. I feel like the boss fight actually has a bit too many indicators. Am I crazy for saying this? I feel like some indicators just aren't needed. And like when the boss moves and it has an indicator for that, I feel like that's just not needed. I feel like the lasers as well might be a bit much. And like when it goes down, like right there, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like some of the indicators are a bit much. It makes it a bit messy, but it's okay. I think it's not that bad of a flaw. The boss design is so cool though. I think the boss attacks and the patterns and everything it's really, really well done. I really just wish there were more boss fights, but I understand why there aren't. Okay. Now let's get into the fun parts. Everything before this, gameplay-wise, aside from the boss, is pretty just okay. But we are getting into the actual fun parts, which is this. I like this mechanic. I just wish it was used more. This mechanic of like, you can touch the water, but it's like burning you, and you have to like get out of it or else you overheat, is so nice. It was so fun to play. But the fact that you can just kind of jump out of it and then it's just gone, and that the fact that that section is so short is kind of lame. I really wish that section had gone longer and that the mechanic had been used more. Because it's a really neat mechanic, but it just needed more. It needed to cook a little bit more. We just gotta let it cook a little bit more. My goodness. I really want this level to... I really want to like this level. I like, outside like of the boss fights, I really want to like sing this level's praises because I can see the vision. I can see what the creator was going for. I can understand what they wanted to. And they went for something very ambitious and it still succeeded at it, you know, in some way, shape, or form, however you want to take it. But I feel like by far the biggest thing dragging this level down is just the fact that the creator definitely is not as experimented or experienced with art and designing some of the environments. Gameplay wise, this is just so enjoyable, so fun. I definitely think that everything post the first boss is just really well done. Like, as it goes, it definitely gets better. And it shows. I wish the dragon design, in terms of the game, like, the attack patterns was a little bit more different, and that the background, like, when he goes in the background, if that was used a little bit more, but... Yeah, exactly, Fastlane. I think that I wish that mechanic was just done a little bit better and used more. You don't like the custom font. I guess that's fair. I guess the font does look very jarring. I think a lot of people like it. I think a lot of people think it's, oh, very nice. But personally speaking, I think it's just okay. I think I would have preferred if a cleaner font was used, because it does make it hard sometimes to read. It's very stylistically cool. Ugh, that's weird. Ew. That made me dizzy. Sorry, chat. I think it has its merits, but I think it definitely could have been improved upon. Okay, let's go forward a little bit to the actual boss fight. Actually, we're about to get to it, so. Okay, boss fight time. I wish the dragon was more present in the boss fight. I wish it moved around the stage. I wish it was cooler. I don't know. And that's the thing about this level. It's just, it has the potential to be really, really cool. But I feel like it is just missing that tiny little extra bit to make it actually, like, peak. And of course, visually, I can only give it so much because I definitely feel like visually it struggles. You like the Aurora Borealis in the sky? I like it too. I think it's cute. But if this was in the southern hemisphere, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that would be called. I think they maybe have a different name, but Aurora Australis. I see, I see. Yeah. Yeah, I did like if this just looked good. If it had like really good visuals, this could be so peak. Cuz it has the vision, it has the intensity, it has the attack patterns, it has the different like it has almost all of it. It is just missing the visuals. For what it is. Oh yeah, and this attack is so cool. Like, it has so much potential. Do I think the NCS should have just one NCS? I will talk about that more when we get to the level. Yeah. I have what to say about this level. I definitely feel like out of the platformer ones that we've seen, with the exception of Quarion, this is definitely one of the better ones. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing because I've watched the ending cutscenes, but I feel like this is a pretty decent one. I feel like if the visuals were just better, I definitely think the visuals were by far the biggest issue. If the visuals were better, this would go so much higher up. But this had the potential to be a really, really solid level. I think I like it more than DK. I think I like it more than Tornado too. I'm just trying to think where I'm pretty decent it goes. I think Kebrantar might be a little bit too high up. I think I'm moving Kebrantar down and moving this above both of these. On top of Cog too. I like Cog. I think this is good. If you see Tears of Denial up there, okay. Stratos, you know where this is going. You know where this is going. You can see where this one's going. I don't need to show you too much. Just you can see it. It's on screen. It's on screen. You know where this is going. You can see it. Stratos, you know where this is going. Look at the levels on screen at the bottom. Look at the levels on screen at the bottom. You know where this is going. This is not going high. This is not going high at all. And I'll say my opinions when we get to it. Crying yourself to sleep is... Why are 3D Depth and O2 not ranked? I talked about this during the Legendary stream. It's because they're too different from everything else here to me to actually be able to compare them. 3D Depth is a really solid proof of concept, but it's not a level. It's not a level. It's just not a level. It's just a very solid proof of concept. It does really, really good at being a proof of concept. Osu is just Osu recreated. As good as I can give it a praise for all the technical stuff, it is just Osu. So I feel like ranking these two just doesn't feel right compared to everything else. Okay, next for Rage Quit by Bleed. And the GD community is about to actually, let's not watch this one. Let's watch the Nexus upload, because I think the Nexus upload has the whole thing. So the community is about to flame me a lot. But I'll just watch it. So, my thoughts about this level. We'll rewatch it. Because I feel like my thoughts about this level, you'll see my thoughts about this level very clearly. This level is so silly. Yes, fast lane. I definitely feel like this level... I agree with Whirlwind, by the way. I watched this video, and I very much agree with Whirlwind on the fact that it seems like a lot of levels nowadays are made in order to thrive as TikToks or YouTubes. shorts, or just on YouTube. They're levels made for an audience on YouTube, and they're not levels actually made to be Geometry Dash levels. I very much agree with Warwin there. I don't like that. I genuinely don't like that. And I know that a lot of people will give that criticism to Astralith. And I'll agree. I think Astralith does that in the train part, and only the train part. And just so you're aware, the train part is my least favorite part in all of Astralith. So, before I get called out for being an hypocrite, I am. But also, I know. I don't think Astralith was made for that intent, except from the train part, which I don't like. And I've been very open about that. So, Rage Quit. Let's actually watch it. I'm gonna mute it because Stereo Madness is copyrighted, even though there's a piano. I don't want to have to deal with that. I think that this beginning is a very, very original idea. It's very, very cool. Using the persistent items, doing this is super cool. It's super neat. I think that all of this concept is very, very nice. Going through everything and like seeing all of this is great. Where does the level fall off in my opinion? Well, here it's like, okay, this is looking very neat. It's looking very interesting. And then here. This is the moment where in my head, this went from a really, really cool level to a really, really okay level. Because everything from now on is very, very mediocre. I don't like this part. This flying part just doesn't work really well. I don't like the visuals here. It looks very very, very weird. I think it's okay. I don't hate it, but it's definitely weird. And now this animation. So this animation is where like everybody's like, oh my god, this was made in 30k objects. Yes, this animation is where it shows. This animation is so silly, and I know that was the point, and I know that Bleep probably went intentionally with it, and which is why I think it's funny. I am enjoying it, but it's silly. It definitely shows that this was 30k objects because of this animation. This animation doesn't look great, and that's just it. This animation looks very, you know, it looks very, eh. Is it cool for a YouTube video? Is it like, oh my god, look at all the funny things happening? Yes, it is. And that's absolutely enjoyable. You can enjoy that. There's nothing wrong with enjoying that. I enjoyed this. I think this is fun. I think this is silly. I think this is stupid. And I had fun watching it. Did I have fun playing it? No. No. It was fun watching. It's fun watching it in a YouTube video. And realizing that the gameplay is still going and that you actually die there. You know. And the fact that it loops back around, I think it's cool. Oh, we are not watching this one, Nexus. I think it's cool. I think it's good. Genuinely, just I have worked with animators a lot during my life, be it in GD. I've worked with a lot of really talented animators. For example, I worked with H-Hyper and Scotch VX with for the boss fight and Boom Slayer as an example. But I've worked with tons of really talented animators. And I gotta say, this is not even close to being impressive or even remarkably interesting in my head. Is it because I maybe have really high standards? That could be it. That very much could be it. But as an animation, I don't see this as more as... This feels to me like those very silly Newgrounds animations that you will see back in like 2010, maybe before that. And it just looks very okay. Like, I'm not gonna say that it's shit. I'm not gonna put it here. Absolutely not. This is not where it deserves to go. This is still a pretty decent level. Would I say that it's better than any of these levels? No. As a level, no. As an animation, not even. I definitely feel like Neo Zenith, Wave Dash, like that part as an animation is a lot better. I would say that a lot of these levels have animations that are a lot better than Rage Quit. As a whole package, I definitely think that it's here. At best, I can put it here. Also, I very much disagree with the take that Neo Zenith has horrible gameplay. It is incredibly fun and incredibly learny, but once you learn it after one practice run, it is super easy. I can beat it right now. It is not even supposed to be a medium demon, and do not trust it. It's super easy. At the best that I can put it is here. but I'm gonna have to put it here. The drop gimmick is repetitive? I agree. I do think it is repetitive. Is it bad gameplay? No, absolutely not. When you think about it, it's just a ship gameplay that is up. Like, it's a vertical ship gameplay. Neo Zenith's part has the exact same gameplay as Citadel's last part, if you think about it. Is it insane answers? Yeah, I would agree there. I think a lot of the NCS levels were highly bumped up in difficulty for absolutely no reason. I genuinely think Neo Zenith's last, like, part, or that part of the wave thingy, is the same as Citadel's last part. It plays the exact same. I enjoyed it. I personally really enjoyed it. So Rage Quit being pretty decent, I agree there. Is it a level made for YouTube? Is it a level made to catch the attention of a lot of kids and take it in there and be like, yo, look at this cool shift happening on screen. Look at these cool animations. Yes. Do I like that? No. I'm just gonna be honest and say I don't like that. I think it's a pretty decent level though. I think for the contest that it won, did it deserve to win it? Yeah, I agree. I think out of all of the entries, it was the most visually impressive one. I liked it. Comparatively to the other entries, as you can probably see by the Ceramenos being all the way down here. As a level, I think it's just okay. I think it just does what it does. Do I like change of scene? Yes, but I don't like it as much as the community likes it, so. Okay, chat. Here we go. We are into the NCS Gauntlet Mythic levels. And we start off with a banger. We start off with an insane banger. Actually, no, I am not watching Nexus's. I am watching Vibrant because he goes for the coin, and I respect that. So another level that I've made. Why does the Topala Prelude have a... Okay, so... I think that this tier is very representative of how I feel about this level. It is not here because I think it's better than Peak. It's only here because I had fun. That's it. It's not Peak. It's fun. And that is the difference that I need y'all to be taken into account. Now, next capsule. Another level that I made with the amazing work of tons of talented creators. What to say about this level? What not to say about this level, y'all? This level was fun, dude. I had so much fun making this level. This is probably the most fun level that I've been a part of. I genuinely am so happy that we actually made this level, because this is so fun. The gameplay, I know a lot of people complain because they can't see. Get some glasses, dude. The gameplay is super intuitive after you play one practice run. You can pre-click all of the orbs. If you fail at them, that's just a skill issue. I'm sorry. I know that a lot of people complain about the side readability of it. Again, play it in practice mode once. It's a demon. Play it twice even. Like, you'll get the hang of it. These duels, you can pre-click every orb. If you're dying here, like, just learn to pre-click. Just be better. Like, genuinely, it's a demon. You should be able to not beat it on your first attempt. It is the hardest difficulty in a game. It's just how it is. Just how it is. I can literally one attempt this level every single time. Genuinely, and I know that a lot of people will say, it's just because you played it a lot. Yeah, then play it a lot. That's it. Play it more. And stop complaining about it. The gameplay's fun. If you actually take your time and play the level and try to learn it, the gameplay's really fun. Mostly the last half of the level. I feel like the first half may be a bit confusing because of all the flashy things going on. The level's fun. So, I will talk about the coin. The coin is the main idea why this level exists. So, when we were seeing the NCS contest submissions getting submitted slowly but surely, we came across one called... Where is it? Where did I put it? Summer Gallery. And now when we saw Summer Gallery, we thought this level has potential. It looks very cool for the first half. And then we saw the anime girl. Now, please don't go and hate on this creator. They are very self-aware, and I respect them for that. I do not think the animation for Summer Gallery's characters looks very good. And I say this as somebody who has been drawing anime characters for a while and has gotten into animation and has, done some stuff on my own. I think Summer Gallery did a pretty decent job as a level. I did not think Summer Gallery did a pretty decent job at animating characters. So I decided, in spite of everything, and because of all the hype that I got, I decided I'm gonna make a better anime girl in this game. Now, whether or not it is a better anime girl, that is up to you. I do not care. That is just personal opinion. But I wanted to draw a better anime girl. And that is the reason why this level exists. It's because I wanted to draw a better anime girl so that we could have a better anime girl in the NCS contest. So, now with all of that said, this level was started because a lot of people in my friend group were like, we want to make an NCS entry too. And I was like, bet. We made Astralith in a month. We can do this in another month. Big mistake. NCS was most definitely the most stressful experience I've ever had in my entire life. This has been a month of me crunching 9 to 10 hours every single day. Every single day of every single week for a month and a half. A little bit less than a month and a half. Straight up, just completely focused on this level every single day for most of my day. And I won't just say, oh, I was just putting hours in the editor. It is genuinely just me talking with people about like planning stuff out and like getting stuff done. Like talking to creators. You know how hard it is to get like 20 creators to actually make something? That's hard. It's not easy. People think it's easy. It's not easy. Okay, mostly not when you have a very short deadline. Because we started this level before the deadline got extended, like a week and a half before it got extended. So we were just kind of, we were expecting this level to get done in a week. It did not get done in a week. The coin was the main reason why this level was called Next Cap Soon. We were thinking about like, wouldn't it be cool to experiment with this concept that I came up with? Because I decided to test some stuff with the persistent items, and then I talked with Loco, who, if you're still in chat, Loco, you can very much speak up about this. We talked about this coin, and we planned out this coin together with the help of some other people in the collab, of course. But we really, really wanted this coin to be really fun, but also really annoying. Originally, we wanted this coin to have you sit here for 10 minutes and actually watch the whole cutscene. It is purposely done to be as annoying and outrageous as possible. It was something that Loco and I planned, and we talked about this. And I think the original concept might have been 30 minutes? Maybe 30 minutes? I don't remember. Loco, I don't know if it was 10 or 30 minutes, but it was one of the two. It was really, really, really atrocious how bad we wanted this coin to be. But after a lot of talks and after me talking with a lot of people, mostly a lot of the mods and stuff like that, they were like, no, don't do that. So we originally were like, okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes is good, right? And then we were like, okay, let's do 5 minutes. And then for a while, we were like, okay, 5 minutes seems good. And then I talked some more with the mods, and they were like, no, that's too long. And so they were like, 2 minutes. And I was like, okay, 2 minutes. However, here's a little trick that you don't know. Once you complete the level, you don't need to watch the cutscene. You can just restart it. I made it on purpose so that you can just restart it. You don't have to watch the cutscene. The cutscene is completely unnecessary. But people don't know this, so don't tell them. Because I think it's funnier this way. I made it so you can just restart as soon as you beat the level and go get the coin. So you don't need to watch the cutscene. But I think it's funnier to have people pretend like they have to watch the cutscene and actually sit there and watch the cutscene and then restart. Wait, what happened with Warwin? What's up, Stratus? But always wants to cut you out of spec, for sure, for sure. Warwin asked about the coin, everybody said to wait. Oh, okay. I don't know where. I don't know where he asked for it, but yeah, just tell Warwin to like talk to me. Just tell him to hit me up in DMs, and I'll explain about the coin and shit. Anyway, this level also has a bug, which I had patched originally, but then it got re-unpatched, and I don't know. It has a bug where you can collect all of the collectibles in practice mode, and then just beat the level with the coin, and that worked for a little while. I don't know. It doesn't matter. that is true, Valley Dash, but the issue is that they told me, so I don't know if this is leaking. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Um so I had some conversations with some people, and the coin might be taken into consideration for like the overall rating for the level. I don't know if this is true or not. This is something that I heard. But if it did get taken into consideration, then that is why I made it not 30 minutes, you know. I didn't want to have the chance to risk the chance of, hey, the coin is taken into consideration, and because of that, it gets points off. So anyway, about this level. I love this level. I genuinely think that this is the most fun project that I've ever done, because I just had a blast making to this. I dedicated so much of time into making this level as polished and as fun as it did. Now, a lot of people will say that the first segment, being all cartoony and stuff, is very jarring compared to the more like realism, not really realism, but like more stylized, realistic lighting, more cruddy like aspects of the second half. This was on purpose, chat. This was very much on purpose. This was something that we planned very early on, because we wanted that disjointedness to come from that. I wanted the first section to feel like you're inside of this reality world, and to be in this kind of like sense where like you're inside of a screen, inside of a game. Think about it like Ready Player One, bad movie, bad movie, cool concept, where like you're in this virtual world that like ads get popped up in you, flashy colors, emojis, and shit like that. All of these very flashy stuff pops out to your face. Also, bad book, true. Like all of these stuff that just comes at you and is very flashy and very cool, and then you get pulled out of it and you get dragged out of it at the end of it, because you can see it here in Volity's part, where like it starts glitching and then you come out of the TV screen. So it's a bit not as clear, and we could have done a better job at it. Unfortunately, the deadline happened, and you know, we did not, you know, have too much time to get that through, but it was absolutely on purpose. It was absolutely like something that we planned, something that we talked about, something that we really considered when taking everything into consideration, like the creators, where the creator should be, what parts of the song should be, how the gameplay should flow. All of that was taken into consideration. Now, we have a lot more modern art people at the beginning, and then we have a lot more art creators towards the end. The end art by itself, it took me like a week to make. Y'all saw it if you were here for the streams. By the way, I can confirm this is indeed Bloodbath. No, I'm kidding. This is indeed Cataclysm. Fucking with y'all, this is indeed Cataclysm. And not a lot of people thought it was Bloodbath. I'm like, no, this is just not it. Or after Catabath, it's just Cataclysm. She gets into like the ship part at 34% and then dies. Something like that. Or no, 40-something% and then she dies. This was... Yeah, I don't know. It was so much love and effort was put into this. We put genuinely so much thought into a lot of these things. I want to thank a lot of the people who worked really hard on this. There's so many Easter eggs in the editor. If you've opened this level in the editor, you'll see there's a shit ton of Easter eggs. If you just... Not even in the... Not even in the editor, in level. Like, you can see there's a bunch of Easter eggs, even just in the last end screen. There's Stuff Crime over here, which is a level that I have released. There's a little melt goober over here. There's a cat. There's cats. There's so many Easter eggs in my part. There's so many Easter eggs in this level. This level is genuinely full of Easter eggs, full of fun stuff. So many things in here. We put so much effort. Yes, so this is my signature for the part, Leah. And it's really funny because I think everyone Wilderman like watched this level or played it, and then like it was like, oh, Leah's playing on her phone. I'm like, well, sure, I can see how you can think that she is Leah, which makes sense, but no, Leah's actually me. My bad. I want to cry in next cap soon, end screen connected. So that's another thing that I've heard a lot of people bring up, and I thought it was really cute. So we released this level, and then a couple days later, Wanna Cry came out, and the creator actually reached out to me, and we talked about it a couple times, and they have said that yes, Wanna Cry was indeed, like the end screen was indeed inspired out of this. It was obviously making a reference to this, and for those who were aware of it, it's cool. It's really cool because you come out from the other side instead of coming out from the left side to the right. Like, in here, you're coming from the right to the left. So it's kind of like the flip world, you know? It's really cool. You did, Loco, but, you know. I think it's really, really fun. I think we had a lot of enjoyable moments when making this level. I definitely think that here, the little Easter egg to Astralith, you know? Very, very cute. So, and then the cap comes in. As you can see, the cap was also very rushed. The animation, just we didn't have that much time. Thank you, Loco, for doing your best. But yeah, after this, you can restart and play the level, and you don't get another, you know. Yeah, it was a reference to multiple legs. What if I call the number on the cap? We checked, and there should be nothing. We also checked there's a website that is randomly generated. Or not randomly generated, that is... can randomly appear. We also checked, and I think it takes you to, like, a hotel suites. Very funny. Also, again, chat, I can talk about all the references, real quick. There's so many. I mean, the emojis here by Blooming. All of the little things in the back. This is also the only level where this is where the NCS logo shows up. And by logo, I mean just the text. I think every other, like, entry has, like, big NCS, you know, showing up, but, like, this is just in the background. But this could also just mean the name of the level, which, if y'all didn't know, next cap soon, NCS. Haha, get it? I'm very funny, thank you. Anyway. Stickers, Black Corp, and Loco. This is Loco's little signature. He has Count Black. I've had so many people reach out to me and be like, oh my god, you're putting Count Black in your levels. And it's like, yeah, look, that's Loco's little goober. We have cats. We have the turtle from Astralith, and also from Post-Blowing, technically speaking, because I'm pretty sure Bogart was in Post-Blowing too. Bogart's dead. We have, oh my god, the amount of Easter eggs in this background. Revere 3, coming soon to a level near you. Astralith Boulevard, 24th Street. 24th Street referring to level 24. Punch Street. There was more, but you can't see them right now. Yeah, Get Freakier. Post-Blowing Avenue, Interstellar Highway. So many bangers. We have the Melu Melu, which has now been released. So now, yes, for all of those, the Melu Melus is so fun. There's so many good things about this game. This is so cool. I love this all so much. Next call. So this transition was originally not Lex Call to Pixel, but we're like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. Also, yeah, the little references to Zed Peter Soup, little cat coin. There's a congregation. There you go, chat. There's a congregation jump scare. There's a grub, we can't see it, it's off screen. This is randomly generated. So I'm pretty sure this is a Rickroll. Telling y'all right now, I'm pretty sure this is the Rickroll. If y'all actually go here, the text that shows up here is randomly generated. There's a couple texts that are all Easter eggs, all fun things about that we put in. Catstown Zenderistan, reference to obviously Zender. Can't invade White Space Station, again, another reference to Zender. A bunch of different references. Yeah. Saito up ahead. This just says Leah, which is very funny, because that's just my name. Smile, jump. I think my favorite one out of all of them is PP is the goat. Look at him. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. She's so cute. PP is the goat. The goat. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this part is really fun. I actually worked on this part a lot. Saito was not able to finish on time, so a lot of the effects and the deco was made by Maxi and me. Wick and Subpixel also helped with some of the structures, which is very, very appreciated. PP mentioned. Volity's part has a bunch of Easter eggs. You can check out her video. I don't know if it's still up. She might have taken it down, but she has a video with like all of the Easter eggs. There's so many. It's genuinely amazing. Ouch's part also has a bunch of Easter eggs. I can't even begin to talk about all of them, but they're really, really cool. Also, the MoGraph here, the little MoGraph here with the fonts, really cool. Like, this is such a cool way to put your references in fonts. I'll just generally such a good creator. Bread King. Bread King's part is amazing too. Genuinely so cool. The little rats with the pizza, the hee 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 ha. The little girl from little robot girl from his game that he's working on. And of course my part. Free sub. You can take that as in very multiple ways. Evil cherry. Wonder what that means. Two little cats. These are my cats. I love them to bits. Melt. So there's a melt off screen. You can't see it because you literally need to like do a specific route to die here. Else it's impossible, but it's so cute. High wake up there, and then yeah, like I said, tot crime at the end. And then you get the coin. And the cat is here still sleeping. It's big eepers. What to say about this level? I love this level. I don't think I can rank it. It feels unfair, but I will rank it anyway. This level is genuinely my... I will definitely put it above Astralith. I genuinely cannot sing the praises of this level enough. I know that a lot of people will complain about the shift in designs and the shift in art style and the gameplay being unreadable. I don't care. I don't care. I that was on purpose. I fuck with that shit. All of that shit we did because it was literally just what we wanted to do. So I'm putting it at the top of good level. No, you know what? No, fuck it. I'm putting it here. I'm putting it here. I'm putting it here. I genuinely think Next Capsule is such a fun level. We did such a good job. I will not allow the slander. I will let you slander all that you want, but I am having so much fun. It is genuinely so good. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, the more that I think about it, the more that this feels right. I think this level's peak. I think that out of anything that I could have done this year, this is probably the level that will... Ooh, not that high. Ooh. Actually, this probably deserves to go in here too. It definitely deserves to go in either of these. But yeah, I genuinely think this level's just good. I just think the level's just good. And if you disagree with it, that's fair. You're allowed to have your opinion. Alright, Berserker by Grax. So, I can't talk about this level without talking about the fact that this won the NCS Gauntlet. Do I think this deserves to win the NCS Gauntlet? No, you can actually go and check my reaction to that. I reacted to it on live with a lot of the members of Next Cap soon. No, I still think that this level does not even remotely close deserve number 1 place. Not even close. There's like at least 5 levels better than this, if not more. And that's me not taking NCS into consideration. Now, how do I feel about it as a level? Well, as a level, it actually is pretty okay. I generally think that it does what it's trying to do pretty well. I just think the drop is completely underwhelming. Like, it ramps up in hype here, and it kind of just doesn't do anything. Like, this part is so lame. It's genuinely so boring and so lame, like, nothing happens. Not even gameplay-wise, not even visually, there's nothing interesting about this part. This part is a mess. I don't know what he was thinking here with the gameplay. I know it's, like, just click the orbs, but it's like, ew, the gameplay sucks. Now, I think everything gets better from here on out. I think everything from here on out is actually pretty good. I generally like the gameplay here. I think the visual integrations are mostly fine. I just feel like it's like a lot of effort was put into the cutscenes in the background, but everything else was like has no effort put into it. Like, again, you're putting a shit ton of effort into this last cutscene, but then you just put default blocks with a bit of glow and particles on it, and it's like, what? Why? Like why? Same with like this whole part. Like the cutscenes are really cool. Like they make for really good thumbnails. But like if you look at the actual art and the blocks, like all of this just looks like shit. Like again, separating the background from the foreground. is a very good idea because it helps the level feel better and it play better, and I agree. But it doesn't mean that you can just make this and it look like this. Like, the background looks amazing, sure, but everything else doesn't. It just doesn't. It just doesn't look good. So like, where are we at? Like, this animation, this cutscene, looking really cool. But then you go and look at the actual blocks, and aside from this trash can looking pretty decent, like what? Really? It's like, wow. I don't know if this was rushed. I don't know if this was just Grax being a bit lazy at times, but it definitely shows that this isn't like his best work, and it definitely shows that this isn't like something that like he like genuinely like they put genuinely like too much focus on. Like they were really just focusing on the animations on the background, and that's fair. I genuinely just don't think that is a... I don't think that makes the level better. Just because you put a lot of effort into the backgrounds doesn't mean that everything else looking mediocre is something that I'm okay with. They released a minutes before the deadline. Obviously it's rushed. Yeah, but just because it's rushed doesn't mean that I can suddenly forgive it for not looking good. Like, that's still an opinion that I can have. I definitely still think that this had a lot of shortcomings, and those shortcomings should have been taken into account instead of it just being like, it looks hype because YouTube thumbnail, you know? I definitely think that out of anything, this definitely does the more, like, this feels like a level made for NCS, you know? It feels like the level was made for the NCS contest, and it doesn't stand alone as its own thing. But yeah, whether or not that's why it won, no idea. As a level, I can say the gameplay is just okay. The visuals are just okay. I think the cutscenes in the back look really good, but everything else just definitely drops down in quality. Where would I put it? I actually think Rage Quit is better. I think Rage Quit is better. You know what? Because of this, I'm actually bumping Rage Quit here. I don't think Rage Quit and Berserker should be in the same category. I don't think so. Yeah, actually, I feel about Berserker the same as I feel about Chupacabra. I feel like these levels are like very similar. But I like Chupacabra more. I don't think it's a bad level by all intents and purposes, by the way, chat. That is the one thing that I want to come across, is I don't think this is a bad level. I think that this is genuinely a pretty decent level. Winner? 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 No. No. Okay, now to some banger. Now to a banger. What to say about this level? God, this level's good. I sang it all its praises while I was playing through the contest, through the gauntlet. This level's just good. I can't even talk. This level's just fucking good. It's so hype. It's so cool. It does so many things right. It does very little wrong, really. It's just the readability of the gameplay, but I can forgive it because if you practice it like twice, it should be enough. The visuals are stunning. The animations are great. It has so much originality and so much charisma. It has so much everything. It does everything so great. This part is amazing. Like, can we just talk about how good this part looks? Jesus Christ. The effects are so well done. The animations are so concise and unique. It is so charming and it's so unique. And it feels like the song was perfectly made for it. It's so good. And it plays so well when you actually know how to play it. I will say this drop does let down a little bit in quality, but it picks back up. It picks back up. This level's just hype, dude. That's how I feel about this level. This level is just hype, and it is actually really enjoyable to play. I know that a lot of people will struggle with it, but that's just a skill issue. My god, on Faith reference? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Faith reference with the this. Where is it? Yeah, this. With the animation style. It's so good. It's such a... I mean, I can't even speak about all the cool references. And of course, hold up. And of course, I cannot... Can we just talk about this? Can we just talk about this? It's so cute. This is not at all the reason why I'm putting it so high. I love this level, aside from this. This level's so cool. It's so, so cool. It does everything that it tries to do really well. It definitely still feels very YouTuber-y. Like, very, like, there for the eyes of YouTube. But it just has so much charm to it. And it's executed really, really well. So I definitely think that this is one of them. Hello, Maxi. How's it going? Where does it go? Now, personally speaking, in my opinion, actually, I'm looking at these at the top and I'm like, where does it go? Where does it go? Does it go above Kara Space? I think for the spectacle it does, but Kara Space, in my opinion, is a better level. I think, in my opinion, Kara Space, as a GD level, does a better job at being a level. And I like the song in Kara Space a lot. Impulse is one of my favorite songs. Maxi, you just gotta practice it, genuinely. It's one of those levels that, like, you just treat it as a memory level, and once you do, you'll see that the level's actually really enjoyable. It's, like, once you learn it, and you know how to do things, it's so enjoyable. Kara Space or WannaCry? I don't know. Both of them are incredibly close in my eyes as levels. I love them for different reasons. I think I'll keep Kara Space above WannaCry. I think I'll keep Kara Space just a tiny, tiny little bit. Heads or tails? Hey Chad, let's do it. So, chat, what is heads, what is tails? Heads, Kara Space, tails, I'll flip it again. Head, Kara Space, tails, tails, WannaCry. We good? Refreshing. Tails, WannaCry. Okay. Alright, Chad. There we go. Next and last, hopefully last, let's just check. Did Mythic level get rated? No. No Mythic levels have been rated. Good. Tears of Denial. I have played through this level. I played through the whole thing. I beat it. So for all of those talking about the fact that, oh, I can't have an opinion, I beat it. I've played through the whole thing. I very much have an opinion on this. I am gonna disregard my... I'm gonna state something very clearly, Chad. I am gonna disregard the visuals. For the first 2 minutes. Because I will talk about the gameplay. I want to talk about the gameplay of this because it is where the majority of my complaints lie. And then I'll talk about the visuals. And then I'll talk about the storytelling. And then I'll talk about the very clear elephant in the room, Matthew Game copying other people. In Matthew Game not crediting people. In Matthew Game stealing things from other people. In Matthew Game just being an overall kind of shit person. Which is not taken into account in the rankings. But I will talk about it. Now, gameplay-wise, I did not enjoy the gameplay for this. I actually thought the gameplay for this was incredibly boring and dull. I did not enjoy the fact that once you dodge, you cannot defend or you cannot attack for a period of time. This is weird because a lot of games have mechanics against this. The fact that once you dodge and there is a cooldown in between the animations, you know how the animation, like it has to wait until the animation ends before you actually do another thing. I don't like that. I do not like that. I genuinely think that it detracts from the pacing of the fighting, and it makes the boss fights feel sluggish and less interesting. I do like the meter, but I wish that the meter increased or changed depending on how many bosses you beat, because when you think about it, there's no upgrades, there's no anything. Goodbye, Fastlane. Thank you for coming out. There's no upgrades, there's nothing that improves you as the player. The bosses just get harder, and then you as a player don't get anything for it. So it just doesn't do... It doesn't reward you for beating the bosses. It just lets you progress, which I don't think is good level design. The actual gameplay, aside from that, the movement feels very clean. The jump is absolutely useless. I never once used the jump, but I think it was necessary because, of course. The boss patterns are okay, aside from the second boss. The second boss has a really shitty boss pattern that just doesn't really work, in my opinion. But the actual mechanics of the bosses are pretty decent. They're very well done. The attacks make sense. They're very well telegraphed. The hitboxes are sometimes clanky, but they're there. The HP of the bosses is lame as fuck. I feel like the bosses have way too much HP for the amount of damage that you actually deal, and it doesn't feel like the only way for you to deal damage is to just hit. The bosses get easier. I think the second boss is easier, but the third boss is harder. But anyway, it doesn't really make much sense because they get so much, mostly here in the second phase. This boss has so much HP. Now, before we pause. I am blanking on the name for this game. Please tell me that somebody put it here, because I have talked about this. Thank you, it is Worldless. So let's look at Worldless. An actual good game with actual good gameplay, with actual stunning and art direction and visuals, and very, very good boss fights that I have played before, and I have beaten this game. This game is absolutely amazing. So yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about actual good gameplay, actual good animations, actual good attack patterns, actual decent boss fight health. This is good. This is just good. This game is absolutely amazing. This game is outstanding. So why are we doing this? 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 The attacks are the same. The design is the same. The visual aesthetic, aside from the environment, is incredibly similar. So it's just like, Jesus Christ, you cannot be more egregiously copying something. And the thing is that this boss actually looks decent because it is copied from that. We get into the next boss, which I'll skip to for the sake of this thing. This boss does not look very good. Visually speaking, the design of the boss looks very mediocre in comparison, and the attacks of the boss look very, 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 very mid in comparison, because it's not actually copied. It's a boss designed by Matthew Game, which takes some element from the Elden Ring boss. What's his name again? God damn it, I forget his name. He's the fucking most annoying piece of shit in Elden Ring. Sir Gaius or something like that. What is it? Whatever. It really shows that the second that Matthew Game stops copying, it just falls off so bad. And the gameplay is there. Like, the gameplay and the mechanics and the programming is solid. I think Matthew Game has the potential to make something very decent if they actually make something original, and if they stop being such a suck up about this. Like, just take responsibility for your actions. You're copying things, you're stealing things, you're not giving credit, and when people call you out, you decide to just be an asshole about it. That's just not good. I don't think you deserve much respect for that. Now, as a level, I will judge this fairly. I will judge this as a level completely fairly, unrelated to me actually disliking Matthew Game's decisions and performance. I think these cutscenes are very, very good. They're very original. They make the level feel more integral, and they feel a little bit better. I like this scene. I think the scene is very interesting. Like, the whole lore behind this, I think it has a lot of really cool potential. The fact that you can also go back and still replay that, it's really cool. This is by far the worst boss fight. This boss fight is very, very lame. It doesn't do anything. The attack patterns are the same. It's incredibly boring. The boss just has an insanely big health pool. There has not really any opportunities for you to punish. Even when it is supposed to be punishable, it still can punish you, which is boring. Yeah, this boss is just lame. Let's get to second phase, because second phase is where it actually starts becoming a little bit better. It has more varied attacks. It has the horse attack, which sucks ass, but aside from that, it is very enjoyable to play. This boss just feels like an insanely easy boss. Yeah. This is the one time where you can actually use the jump to like dodge an attack, but I don't use the jump, I just dash through things. They really are sponges, yeah. They just take a lot of hits and that's it. And it just feels like they're not doing much. But it's okay. Let's skip forward a little bit. Let's kill the boss. Boss dies, it goes away. I think the animation of it going away is cool. Yeah. And then we get to this. Very cool shot, by the way. Can we just say, like, this as a shot, as a concept, is very well framed. I think the composition of things, the way that it's framed, the way that everything, like, the way that you spawn in, and then you can only see the arm being, like, stabbed through. Like, I feel like this is really cool. It should have probably started you a little bit further away so you can, like, have more time to, like, set things on. But, like, this is a very cool shot. It is very well done. Now, what to do about this shit? Because let's close this for a little bit. This boss, if this had been the final boss, I think it would have been very interesting. I think it would have been really cool. Because this gives me very much Blasphemous vibes. The big boss in the background that feels so much grander than you and so much more like daunting than whatever you have. That is just so interesting and so it has so much potential to be a really, really well-designed boss. But it's not. So let's skip forward a little bit, and the boss just kind of goes away, and then you fight this angel, which, okay, it's like, well, okay, sure, yes, technically speaking, this is fine, but now the boss fight itself, I actually like. This is actually the best boss fight in the not visually. Visually, it's kind of stiff. A lot of the animations are very repetitive, very stiff. But the actual attacks are fun. They're very learny. I don't like the fact that the sword has really weird hitboxes. Sometimes it hits you, sometimes it doesn't. It's a bit like a flipping coin. But the attack patterns are fun. I think it's interesting. When I first played it, I was really frustrated because I didn't like how unpunished, like how it was really hard to punish the boss, and instead you got punished as a creator pretty often. But yeah, I don't know. This boss is definitely by far the best one. It feels like an original boss. I can't really say if it is entirely original, because it has a lot of Blasphemous imagery, and it has a lot of the Radiance from Hollow Knight imagery, too, in terms of, like, the attacks and some of the designs. Like, these give very Blasphemous and Radiance vibes. These give very Radiance vibes. These also give Blasphemous vibes. The swords attacks and these give... Again, it's just... It's a bit too close for home, but visuals do look pretty neat, and the boss attacks and patterns are very neat. So let's actually go to the final section, because And now you get to pick your ending. You pick that ending or do you pick that ending? So, do you pick the humans or do you pick the monsters? I forget which one. I don't know the lore. I'm the lore. You die either way, so. The screaming face is totally traced. I have no proof of that, but I would not be surprised if it is. So, Tears of Denial. What to say about this level? Well, personally speaking, I actively dislike it. However, writing it as a level, I actually would need to put it above Armored Core and above the Gungeon and above Eternal Gungeon. Because technically speaking, it is a better level than all of them. I still don't like it. I think the gameplay has too many flaws that make the boss fights unbearable to play. Aside from maybe the last one. And the visuals, while looking decent, are completely unoriginal and uninspired. So, it's just like a... Like, what are we doing here? Are we really giving Mythics to just stolen media? Like, if we just remake fucking Undertale, are we giving it a Mythic because it's Undertale and it's a peak game? Like, no. Obviously not. I feel like in GD, you should be better than that. Like, RopTop, you should be better than this. You should make your research, and the mod should do the research on telling RopTop that, hey, like, this level has traced assets or stolen assets from other media. You should not give it a rating or such a high rating. If it has original things, then sure, rate it, but don't give it such a high rating. And the worst part, it doesn't credit shit. Like, I feel like the bare minimum is if you take something from something else, just credit it. Like, it's not that hard to just be like, here are my sources of inspiration. Go check them out because they're cool and they inspired me to make something new. Why are we just letting shit this get away with? I definitely don't... I definitely can't place it here. Because it has some very tiny aspects that it deserves to be credited for. However, I don't think I can place it higher than this. I actually placed it below cred. I don't think this level should have gotten Mythic. I don't think this level should have even gotten Legendary. I don't think this level should have even gotten Epic. I think this level, as a feature, is perfectly fine because of how much it disrespects the integrity of being an artist. That's it. That is my opinion on it. I would rather have a level that looks bad and is completely original and does original things than a level that completely disregards the bare minimum of just being an integral artist and that just doesn't even do anything with it. Because this doesn't even spell out. Like, we have levels here that have some ideas taken from other things, but they still do it in original ways where, like, again, like, a very good example is, fucking, like, the mechanics of Slash. Like, this is just basic platformer mechanics that you can see in a lot of other indie games, but it does them really well, and it has a charming style, it does something unique, and it tries to do something different with them. And it succeeds, and it does very good. Same with Quarion. Quarion didn't invent double jumps or dashes or wall jumping, but it integrates them in a way that makes sense within the world. It has original visuals that were completely made for the aesthetic of it. Like, it's not that hard to just make original things. Please, genuinely. It is so disappointing that the community is out here praising levels that are just straight up ripping off from other content. I do not agree with that. And I genuinely think that it should not get, you know. The Venom in Bussin is just Venom. Well, here's the thing. Bussin traces, well, not traces, sorry. Bussin replicates AI art. Like the Rick and Morty for Bussin, Rick from Bussin, is just an AI-generated meme of Rick that they recreated into Bussin. But at the very least, they added their own gameplay, they added their own visuals, they didn't just trace it one-to-one, they did recreate some of it. So, whether the legitimacy of it can be put the same level as all of these, I definitely feel like it has a bit more merit because it tried to do something different. But again, I still don't think Bussin deserves all that high. I just think it's funny. And you know what? I'll put it at the bottom of this. This level's too confusing in my head. I can't rate this properly. What I think of the new Legendary? I actually ranked it. I put it here, the Retro Tower. I think it's pretty decent. I think it does pretty good. I think that there's just a lot of levels that are just good or pretty decent. So it's very interesting seeing like how stacked all of this is. Like even if you're just like here at Absurdia, like, just because it's at the bottom of pretty decent doesn't mean it's a good level. It's still a really, really solid level. Same with like everything here. Just because it's not peak doesn't mean that it's bad. And you can see that I don't have a lot of levels at the bottom. Like I very much don't hate a lot of levels. But the ones that I don't like as much and I don't love as much, I definitely have a lot of opinions on. It's mostly because they just either aren't doing anything interesting or aren't very stellar looking, or just because they just aren't very like fun, or I don't vibe with them as much. Cyan, I've been reading your conversation with Maxine on the side, and I think that transformative work is very subjective. I think that there has been many cases in the lawsuit of not only video games but other franchise of how transformative is something, and how in the line of transformative enough is often very blurry. Something that for you is transformative enough in the court of law could pass as not transformative enough. It also depends on intent and a lot of other things that in GD, fortunately for us, the community, nobody has put like, you know, legal issues towards, but I feel like we should not take things lightly of the fact that Wrapped could very easily get sued for some of the stuff that is on GD. Be it the sound effects, be it the icons, be it the levels being made. If any of these things become a big enough issue where it doesn't become transformative enough for those companies, not for you, because it doesn't matter what you think. It matters for what the companies think and what the legal justice of whatever place it is being made as. If that is where it matters, and they believe that it is not transformative enough, then no. Sound effects are legally bought from stock packs. Still, that's the thing, Signpower. If Robtop can prove that he's legally done all of that, and he's done all of the still very fun and legit, like no problem, then that's fine. There's no issue. But he still could get into the legal trouble, and they could still put it in the case as like, hey, he did this, but like this is very, very, very bad, you know? So it's something you should do. It's like it doesn't just because it's not illegal doesn't mean that it can't be used as proof as to make Robtub look like a worse, you know, make him look worse because of what he's on. So it's something that we as a community need to be very aware of, and we as a community need to be careful with, because this could actually put the community in danger and the game, of course. I don't think it's something to cry over for the big companies. I think for the most part, you would be okay. You would be okay saying that thing, unless whatever you're making is actively making that company look worse. Like for example, something that was an issue was Woodkid, the level. Woodkid as a level back then gained a lot of popularity, but also gained a lot of people's hate because it was stealing assets and stealing things. And the level got so big and the hate got so big, then the Woodkid, the actual like music band, was aware of these things, and it was negatively affecting Woodkid the brand. Not because of like, oh, it's, you know, oh no, we're making a GD level. It's because the negative talk about Woodkid was just Woodkid. It was the name of the band. That could have really big repercussions for them. It's something that if you just hear people saying, oh yeah, Woodkid uses stolen assets, like if you just are outside of the GD community and you hear that and you know Woodkid the band, you'll be like, wait a second, what? Like the fact that by association, a level that has negative talk around it could have potential repercussions for people, it's just not something that they were willing to take the risk of. I am pretty sure. Again, I'm speaking over for them, even though I don't exactly have, you know, the fucking proof that this is exactly what happened, but this is what we all hypothesize is the issue. Like that they were like, no, don't fucking do this shit. Get the shit out of here. And then the level got canceled and the level got delayed, and you know, it got into more issues. Why don't you like Matthew Games levels? Because they're all stolen. None of them are original work, and none of them are enjoyable. If I wanted to play the things that they are stolen from, I would just go play the games that they are made from. I do not want to play the Gungeon in GD. I want to play the Gungeon. I do not want to play I do not want to play Worldless in GD. I want to go play Worldless. I will pay for the game if I need to. I will not play some cheap ripoff that doesn't even do a decent job at making it fun. Where's the Woofer Lullaby? It is here and pretty decent. At the top of pretty decent. I like it. I think that it did a very good job at transforming Minecraft assets into GD. I think if it was more original and it tried to do something more interesting, it could have been higher, but it did pretty okay. Yeah, and there's a lot of artists in GD who have made music that, like, all of their comment in their songs are just like, oh my god, did you come here from Bloodbath? Or did you come here from X level? And they don't want that. They want to get an audience that actually likes them because of their music. Not an audience because somebody really liked that one GD level that uses that song, you know? No way you put an auto level at the top? Because it's fun. It's fun. I enjoyed myself. I had the most fun I've had in a long while. Like, I feel like it's pretty clear what this tier is. I enjoy it. I had fun watching it. I had a lot of fun watching it. It was stupid. It was silly. It was John Wick. How, like, I feel like I don't need to explain myself. It was fun. I'm surprised I agree with like 90% of these placements. I mean, I am trying to be, for the most part, very concrete about like my definition of what is a good GD level, because I am rating all of these as GD levels, of course. So if I don't think it's a good GD level, which I don't think most of these are, then I probably will put it over here at the bottom. And again, this is not my opinion on which one looks the prettiest or which one plays the best. This is just my opinion on how I feel like they fit the GD game as a game. And genuinely, yeah, I feel like this is pretty much representative of my taste into GD levels. If you want to watch something that is like example, if you really like Berserker, or if you really like Rage Quit because they show flashy effects and they show flashy things, and then you just like that, that's great. Up to you. You can put them at the very top. That's fine. If you really like Matthew game levels because they are interesting boss fights and have interesting gameplay mechanics, and you don't care that they steal things, that's fine. That's up to you. I don't. If you don't think that Magistro is mid, if you don't think that Metamorphosis is mid because you think that they are the best levels to come out of the NCS contest, that is great. I'm really happy for you. I genuinely think that these levels deserve all of the love that they gotten. I don't like them. I think they're pretty okay. I think that for the most part, these two levels do something very similar, and it's that they don't really know what they're trying to do, and they're being very messy about it. And that's okay. And if you like that, that's fine. I genuinely just need everybody to understand here that for the most part, these rankings are just my opinions. You can have your own, and they're all entirely valid. If you don't like Icy Stars and you don't think it's the best level released this year, then you're wrong. But it's okay. Yeah, exactly. And again, the rankings here are, like Loco said, are super biased. They are super biased. But you know, if you like a level, then you like it, and if you don't like a level, then you don't like it, and that's pretty fine. I just because I say that own display is in the middle here doesn't mean that you are not allowed to like it. It just doesn't do anything that I find interesting, and I'm allowed to have that opinion, and I hope that y'all respect that. So, you know, it's the kind of thing that, like, yeah, like, if you have a different opinion, all good to you. I want to cry an NCS and peak too. Yes, absolutely. Again, and me with Astralith and Next Cap soon, I don't genuinely want to rate them this high. Me personally speaking, I would rate them lower than this. But for different reasons. Decay, very bad. Hate DK. No. I mean, you can hate a level if you want to, but it doesn't do anything wrong. It doesn't. The puzzles are there. The art is very cute and charming. The design of the levels and the environments is pretty decent. Like, again, it doesn't do anything wrong as itself. The story is very simple but effective. Like, if you dislike the level because mostly story that makes me hate it. It just yeah, but the story is just very simple. It doesn't do anything special. Which again, it does, just because it's mediocre doesn't mean that it's bad. It is our worst mediocre. And again, yeah. A lot of these are just my personal opinions. Like I know that Endeavor gets a lot of love from the community. Not for me. I think it's not very good. The 2.1 parts are a lot better than the 2.2 parts, and it shows. But it's too messy, and I feel like the creator has gotten a tiny bit better. We can see it with Ever After, like they've improved a little bit, but not too much. It said that mediocre. Cheesy is not necessarily bad. I don't think cheesy can be considered as bad ever. Cheesy doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Cheesy, it's cheesy. It's its own different thing. If you have a problem with them, then that's your problem. Anyway. All that to say, thank you everybody so much for being here. Again, the Mythic stream definitely not as long as the Legendary one. The Legendary one was 5 hours, I think. Because there's a lot of Legendary levels. But in case for the Mythics, we have not too many. We have 10, which is a lot more than I expected to get this year. But as you can see, we have them from very varying qualities. Tears of the Nile, pretty damn low in my opinion. Pixel Path 2, it just doesn't do much. Same with the Towerverse. Throat of the World, actually pretty decent. I enjoyed myself. Well, I just wish the art was better. Berserker, it does okay as a level. Should I have won the NCS contest? No. Rage Quit, it's good. I think it's good. I think that the praise for it is overbloated, and I think the hate for it is overbloated, but it's still good. Astralith, I think Astralith is good. I think it's just pretty decent, pretty good, actually, yeah. Does it do some wrong things? Yeah. Does it do some good things? Yeah, but I don't think it's all that much. It's good. And then, Wanna Cry, Next Cab, and Quarion. Probably the best levels that come out of the Mythics. Definitely think Quarion is way above the rest. Wanna Cry and Next Cab are very close in my head. I think I like Next Cab soon more because of how fun it is. But I think Wanna Cry is cool as shit too. Why is the Incinerator mid? I think I've talked about this very many times with a lot of these levels that are in mid. I think the art style of the Incinerator is pretty damn mediocre. I think that the biggest thing that y'all have to understand is that the Incinerator is trying to copy Zender Game. It is trying to replicate Zender Game style, but it's trying to replicate Zender Game style from 4 years ago. And it's not even doing it better. Like, can we really just look at the Incinerator? Oh, I've spelled it wrong. The Incinerator. And then look at Ultraviolence. Look at these two levels. And you're telling me that this level that came out 4 years ago, almost 5, it is the same as this? Really? Really? With the gameplay? But the gameplay's whatever. The gameplay's whatever. It's just whatever. Like, the gameplay doesn't make this level better. It is just the most okay gameplay ever. Does it have enjoyable gameplays? Kinda, yeah, but like, that's the bare minimum. Asking for like enjoyable gameplay is the bare minimum in my case. If you have enjoyable gameplay, then you're good. You're decent, like you're the baseline. You're not bad, but you're the baseline. If you have a stellar gameplay, that's when you excel. And this just has very, like, are we really looking at this? And then looking at this and being like, yeah, the Incinerator deserves to be pretty good. Like, no, this is from 4 years ago. Come on. Like, this is 4 years ago. Are we really pretending like something that's worse than something from 4 years ago deserves to be any higher than that? No. This level's just sick. Like, this level's just so sick. And it's not even Zender's best level. But it's still so sick. Also, I want to say the actual design of the bosses is cooler here than in the incinerator. I don't think the bosses in the incinerator look anything interesting. Like, the don't blink, it's so raw, dude. Hey, it's so raw. I wonder if Xander will ever make a game on Dawn. He was making a level called 32, but he has taken a step away from everything, basically. He's taking a step away from Discord and taking a step away from YouTube, so you might have noticed that he might not be around anymore, but yeah. Yeah. Like, really, this boss does not even remotely come close in how cool it looks or anything. It looks so lame in comparison. And you can't see, like, half of the actual attacks because everything's so glowy and overblown. It's just okay. It's meh. These duels are the best part of the level. These duels are actually really enjoyable, and that is why it's not lower than just mid, because these duels are actually really good. But if one part out of the whole level is kind of good, you know, The Incineroar, yo. Yeah, genuinely, I think that a lot of these levels, I can give a very good reason as to why it sits this way, and if you don't think that this sits in where it is, that's fine. You're very much allowed that. But anyways, chat, I need to end stream. I need to go get some food, because it is 4 p.m. and I have not eaten today. So I should definitely go get some food. So I hope you all have a good rest of your night or day, depending on where you are in the world. Put some banger music. And I'll see y'all tomorrow, right? 5 a.m? Jesus Christ, go sleep. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll be streaming some stuff. I don't know what yet. I'll think about it. But take it easy, everybody. And I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.